What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be ranking every single captain in the NHL on a tier list. Now, we're going to be ranking them based on how good of a captain they are, not how good of a player they are. I feel like if we were just ranking them on how good of a player they are, it'd be pretty obvious. So, as you guys can see here, it's NHL captains as of February 20th, 2021. We have S to D there. I'm not really sure the order that's going on, but I believe there's 29 captains. Only team without a captain are the Rangers and the Senators. So, we'll get started here, guys, with Sasha Barkov. I think he's a pretty good captain. I'm not sure if I'd say he is S tier. Seems to have a pretty good sense of humor. Obviously, it's pretty tough to like judge these guys when you're not in the locker room. You really don't know how they lead. So kind of just based on ice performance, looking at the bench, you know, the videos you do get out of the locker room. Everyone likes to say he's the #1 most underrated player in the league. I feel like at this point, he can't be underrated based on how many people say he's underrated. So I'm going to say he's A tier. I think, you know, maybe could be a bit more vocal. Maybe could have a bit more experience. I feel like A tier makes sense for Barkov. Next year, you got Jamie Benn. Not quite as skilled as Barkov, at least not anymore. He did win an Art Ross trophy somehow like 5 years ago. He'll fight if he needs to. Definitely, you know, he's been the Stars captain there for a bit. I'm trying to think. Where do I want Jamie Benn? I'm going to put Jamie Benn B tier just because his skill, I think, has dropped a bit. Personally, I like my captain to be one of the best players on the team. And although I do think he's still a good player, Sagan's definitely better, plays on the decline, so I'm going to put him in that B tier. Now, Patrice Bergeron, first year as the Bruins captain after Chara left the team. Because of that, like, can he be S tier only in his first year of captaincy? I don't know, it's close. I'm going to put him in A tier, and, like, honestly, he was probably, like, clearly, like, the #2 behind Chara all those years Chara was there. I feel like he'll probably end up being S tier after, say, you know, 5 more years as the Bruins captain before he retires. Logan Scherr, that's an interesting one. One of many Sharks captains over the past decade. I feel like with Marleau on the team, with Thornton on the team in the past, those guys are probably the captain. So is he really the captain? I even wonder if like Brent Burns, for instance, has a louder voice than him in the locker room. It's a weird one for me, honestly. So I'm going to go C, because I just feel like he probably isn't really the leader, even though he's wearing the C. Like, there's just so many other guys, like I mentioned. Thornton Pavelski in the past, Marleau, Burns right now. You even got Carlson in the mix now, Edward Vlasic. I'm not really sure how much of a leader he is. He's a good player, not a great player. Ekman Larson here, definitely been with the Coyotes forever since he was drafted. Until Chychrun kind of stepped up this season, without a doubt their #1 defenseman. I'm thinking B for Ekman Larson. I met him, pretty cool guy. Not super vocal, but I think he's vocal when he needs to be. I feel like B makes sense. Nick Felino here, no longer on the Blue Jackets, but I'll judge it as if he was. So definitely not one of the better players. I think he played like 3rd line for them. Look at the rest of the captains here. Definitely one of the lower end guys in terms of talent, but he'll for sure mix it up if he has to. I mean, you guys saw him fight Perry. Where does Felino go? For me, like I said, I'd like my captain to be a bit more skilled. I don't think I could put him D, because I don't think really he's done anything bad necessarily. I'm going to put him C, just because he's kind of an average captain for me. So Getzlaf here, definitely S or A for me. Won a cup when he was younger, been with the Ducks his whole career. He'll fight if he needs to. He has a good sense of humor from what I can tell. Is Getzlaf S tier? I feel like I got to judge it on right now, and Getzlaf has dropped off a bit, so I'm going to put him A tier. I feel like in the past he would have been S tier, but again, for a captain, for me, it's everything. It's your leadership. It's standing up for the team, scoring on the ice, you know, making jokes when you have to, lightening the mood. Doing my best here to judge all that. I'm putting Getzlaf there in the A tier. Next up, we have Mark Giordano, so back-to-back the Baldies. Where am I going to put Giordano? Definitely no higher than B. And even B, I don't know. Is he the captain of that team? I feel like, I don't know about now, but pretty soon it's going to be like Kachuk's team. I'm not really sure if it's going to be Giordano's team. I'm going to put him C. I feel like he's just an older guy on the team. He did have one really good year, but outside of that, is he even the best defenseman on that team anymore? I feel like that might go to Hanifin. And again, when I think the Flames, I think Tkachuk, I think Gaudreau. I don't really think Giordano. Claude Giroux here, been the captain of the Flyers for a bit. They haven't really won anything. Bergeron, Getzlaf have the cups. Barkov's your high-end talent. Can Giroux go A tier? I'm going to be, I guess, I'm going to be tough here. I'm going to put Giroux B. I feel like, you know, he's your average captain. He's the best player on the team. At least he was for the bulk of his career. Really nothing too crazy to say about Giroux. I feel like he's your average captain in the NHL. Bo Horvat here, a little bit younger compared to everyone else we've done so far. I guess Barkov's also pretty young. #2 C behind Peterson. I don't think I'm going to put him A tier, but I don't really think I'm going to put him C tier either. I'm going to put him B tier. I feel like, again, I'll get mixed up in it when he needs to. Kind of the two-way player, which you like in a captain. Jack Eichel. Now, this is a tough one. So for me, if I'm on the Buffalo Sabres, my captain's Jack Eichel. And I kind of see everything being said about him. I see a lot of things he's saying in the media. I don't know how happy I'm going to be, honestly. Ooh, I'm trying to think where I put Eichel. It's definitely B's max, and I don't know. I'm thinking C, maybe even D, because like when your guy's kind of coming out and showing he wants to be traded, wants to leave your team, that's a tough scene. You know what? We're just gonna do it for fun. We're gonna put Jack Eichel D tier because honestly, I don't know who else would go there. He's like I think the only player here who's like kind of showed the fact they don't want to be on the team, maybe. So I think D is kind of fair for him. Roman Yossi here, captain of the Swiss team, if there was one. Where is Yossi gonna go? I mean, best defenseman on his team. Probably one of the better looking dudes in the NHL, if that matters. Doesn't really fight her much, but I feel like he kind of leads by example on the ice. Is he A tier? I don't know if he's quite A tier. I'm going to go B tier for Yossi. I think that's fair. John Tavares. So this is a tough one. I feel like if you ask Leafs fans, they probably put him S or A. You ask Islanders fans, they're putting him C or D. So that makes it tough. I mean, like I said, Islanders fan thinks he's a snake. Leafs fans, I'm sure, love him. I don't want to base anything on like the injury. I got to take the sympathy points out of it. We just got to look at John Tavares before he got injured. Where would we put him as a captain? I mean, when I think of the Leafs, I feel like it is Matthews' team. Tavares wears the C. Maybe I'm wrong. We're not in the locker room. I really do think it's Matthews' team. I mean, like the Islanders stuff, I know it pulls him down. It's A or B for me. I'm going to go B tier. And the reason I'm going B is just because he doesn't really say that much for me in a captain. Maybe just because, like, when I played sports, whatever, I like a captain who's vocal, who kind of, like, gets all the boys pumped up, talking, you know, gets you into the game, cracking jokes like that. Tavares is definitely more soft-spoken. So that's really the only reason I have him in the B tier. Next year, Anze Kopitar. A couple cups with the Kings. Definitely he'll bash when he needs to. Is he S tier, though? I don't know if he's S tier. I put him A tier. I feel like he's kind of on par with Getzlaf. Very similar, you know, both the Cali guys. Similar play style. Kopitar's kind of kept his talent, though, a bit higher than Getzlaf as they've aged. Gabe Lanez here. So another one of the younger guys. I think he has the title for youngest captain in the NHL still, unless I'm mistaken. I know he took it from Crosby. This guy... There's a reason he got the captaincy at a young age. He does everything. He scores, he fights. I feel like, you know, he's a good voice in that locker room. So, even though he might not have the pedigree as the rest of these guys, I'm actually going to put him A tier. I think Landeskog, for me, there's a reason, you know, he did get the C over McKinnon, a guy who's more talented. It's because Landeskog kind of does everything you want in a captain. Dylan Larkin here. This is definitely going to be biased, but, I mean, he's a hometown kid. My favorite team. Arguably fastest player in the NHL. He'll fight when he needs to. He scores points. I obviously I can't put him S tier, so 100% biased. Right now I'm going to put him A tier, but I acknowledge the fact it's biased. Anders Lee. This was a weird one for me when he got announced captaincy. I actually didn't expect it. I honestly thought they would have waited and just gave it to Barzal. So like I said, this one being a weird one. He's not the best player on the team. I don't really know, honestly, like how vocal he is, to be honest. And I think that kind of tells you he is probably more of just like your meh captain. I'm going to put him as C just because for me he's kind of like your below average captain. Conor McDavid, this is a very tough one. Without a doubt the best player in the NHL. I think that's undeniable after this season. Even, you know, with Yossi getting swept there by the Jets. The thing is, McDavid is very, you know, soft-spoken, doesn't say a lot. I would like a captain who says a bit more. So I'm going to put him A tier just because for me, like I said, I feel like even in the locker room, I don't see McDavid talking that much more than we see in, you know, public. So I think A tier is fair for McDavid. Nico Hischier. So for me, I feel like Hischier honestly got the C because the Devils didn't know who else to give it to. D, it's tough to give a guy D when he doesn't really done anything wrong. I feel like that's why Eichel's there because, you know, he's kind of publicly stated he wants to trade from the team. So I think C's where I'll put Hischier. Next up, Ryan O'Reilly. Dude's a beauty, won the Conn Smythe a couple years ago. He kind of does it all for his team. Now, S tier, I'm kind of saving S tier for like the best captains in the NHL in my mind. And I think O'Reilly's close, but not quite. So I'm going to go A. Alex Ovechkin, speaking of the best captains in the NHL, I feel like S tier, you got to give it to Ovechkin. I mean, you saw the heart he has for this game when he won the Cup with the Capitals. Been their captain for how long? He'll throw hits, he'll fight, he'll score. You guys see like the guys walking to the tunnel. He's got like all these different handshakes, stuff like that. He gets the boys pumped up. I think Alex Ovechkin, without a doubt, one of the best captains in the NHL. Likewise, Sidney Crosby. I mean, when you're the captain of Team Canada with all the other captains in the NHL, like think about all the All-Stars, all the other captains on that team. They're giving the C to Crosby. There's a reason. I mean, even though the guy might not be quite as outspoken as you'd like, I feel like he definitely says a lot more in the locker room than, outside with the media. I feel like you can't not give Crosby S tier. Like I said, not only has he been the captain of the Penguins since he was 18, but he's also been captain of the Canadian team for like the past 7 years now. After that, we have Spurgeon on the Wild. I was actually surprised Spurgeon got the C. I thought it would have went to Ryan Suter. So because of that, when I'm surprised by a captaincy, I feel like, I don't know. It just makes it optically weird for me. I don't know. He's probably the best defenseman on the team. No longer the best player on the team, though. I think that goes to Kaprizov. I don't know. For me, he's probably like a below-average captain. I'm going to put him on C. Jordan Staal, kind of the same thing for me. So many more talented players in the Hurricanes. From what I see, too, he doesn't really talk that much. Kind of a weird captaincy, honestly. He's like their third-line center, maybe second line, but I'm going to put him in C. Steven Stamkos, very good player, very good player. Very similar, honestly, to John Tavares, who I put B. But Stamkos has that cup now. And he's been with the team longer, whereas Tavares is like a newer player with the Leafs. So I think because of that, I can push him up to A. Mark Stone, really good player at the Vegas Golden Knights. Only been there a couple years. Does a lot for you. I think B. I think B is fair for Mark Stone. Jonathan Toews, I think, will be the third and final S tier. I mean, dude's nickname is literally Captain Serious. 3 cups with the Blackhawks. Led that dynasty. There was guys on that team like Kane who could have won the C. Duncan Keith could have won the C. Tons of veterans. He led that dynasty. Where's an A with Team Canada? I think those 3 guys, when I think leaders in the NHL, those are 3 names that come to mind. After that, you have Shay Weber. Obviously, he was captain of the Preds for a while, now in Montreal. I personally think the captain of Montreal is Carey Price. He just can't wear a C because he's a goalie. So for me, Weber, he was also a captain on the Preds. I'm sure he's a decent captain. Where am I going to put him? I'm going to put him B. I'm going to be nice. It was B or C. Call it a C+, and rounds up to a B. Blake Wheeler, I really like Blake Wheeler. I think he's a sick player. Kind of similar to Jamie Benn. He's like that power forward. He'll get mixed up in it. He'll score for you, but he's kind of better than Jamie Benn. I like that joke he made, too, about blocking the shot with his groin last night. I'm wondering if that blocked shot pushes him up into A tier for me. Blake Wheeler, he seems like a heart and soul kind of guy. He'll give it all for the team. I'm going to put Blake Wheeler A tier. So there's my list, guys. Again, it's tough to judge. I feel like to really give an accurate ranking on who the best captains are in the NHL, you gotta be in the locker room, seeing what these guys are saying when the team's down 5-0, what they're doing when the team's on a 4-game win streak, or what they're doing after a big win. They're taking the boys out for a night in the towns, things like that. Those are the kind of things I want to know about my captain. But going off of just kind of information we have, there's my captain tier list. Hopefully no one's too upset with it. Again, I try to be as fair as possible. Buffalo fans, I think you can understand why I have Eichel on the D list. So I'll check community rankings here. I'm kind of curious what everyone else did. I'm feeling like a lot of people probably just did it based on how good people are. There's only one, and it's a weird one. Okay, so they completely changed the ranking system. Swiss Kings, Hischier and Yossi. Nice. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see you. To be honest, I just don't know where else to put these guys. I'm good. Kind of scary. Okay, so I could be wrong here, but I think this person ranked them on who they think is the best looking, potentially, because Yossi, Hischier at the top, Swiss Kings, nice. Okay, I see you. Then kind of scary. I'm good. I think that's what they're doing. If they're doing something else, I don't really understand. Although Ovechkin's kind of high if they are doing based on looks. I don't know, honestly, but there's only one to go off of. So yeah, there's my rankings, guys. Again, let me know what you think in the comments section. If I ranked your captain low, let me know in the comments why I'm wrong, why I should be ranked up higher. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.